We're in Greenwich today at a former hair salon that actually went into auction by receivers. Now apparently the previous owner owed a huge amount of debt and actually ended up going to jail.
Hi guys, it's Mariam Radi and welcome back to my finished development. I'm so excited to show you around.
So last time we were here, this was actually a commercial or residential project several months ago. Fast forward, now the project is actually being completed. We're here with Miriam. We're gonna have a tour around this Airbnb project.
Hi Malcolm, it's so nice to welcome you back here. As you can see, a lot has changed since the last time you visited, and I'm really excited to show you around. It's been a bit of a delay trying to get you in here, but that's because it's been very, very popular on Airbnb. So we've had bookings after bookings, but now we have a little bit of free space before our next one, and I'm going to show you what we did with the place.
Okay, let's have a look. So this is the lounge kitchen area?
This is the kitchen/lounge area, that's right. And what I loved about this is as soon as you come into a property, the hallway is very open. And we wanted to maintain that because I always like to give the impression of openness, high ceilings, open plan. I think we developed this with the intent of it being a short-term let, and that was very much at the back of our mind throughout the development. That's why we chose to do open spaces, because we wanted to give the residents some more wiggle room and a chance for them to move around. Also, we are renting this out to 4 people at a time, with 2 in the bedroom and 2 on the sofa bed. And this is essentially it.
So for you to run this as an Airbnb, did you have a look at what else was on the market and what others would be doing, or did you get in touch with an operator and see what their views were?
I think when we were designing it, yes, absolutely. I was looking at what was already in the market. When you have a short-term let, unlike when you're developing a HMO or a flat, with those, you kind of put unisex, simple decor because you want to give the residents an opportunity to decorate the areas themselves. But when you're doing a short-term let, you have to look at what the area is attracting. So with Greenwich, it's quite quirky. People come for the Greenwich Village, and so we chose to go with a quirky decor just to be in the same breadth and the same line as the city. So yes, you're right. It was very much at the back of our mind. I did go on Airbnb and see what was already on the market, and there was that common denominator of all of the Airbnbs having that quirky little edge, and we chose to take that and kind of run with it. So you'll see monkey lamps and little tomato salt and pepper shakers, checkered cushions, so it still has a sense of identity, and it's proven really popular in the short-term let space.
And what was the idea when it came to some of the furnishings with the sofas?
So when it comes to the rugs, if you'll notice, we'll always use pattern rugs because stains don't show that easily on the rugs. When it came to the sofas, again, we're going with deep, dark colors and a sofa bed. Again, just for the sake of us not wanting to use white, because if there's a stain on it, we'll have to replace it. And we do have a huge footfall of people coming in here. Apart from that, the furniture, if you remove the fake plants, you'll notice is actually quite minimal. It's just a sofa and a couple of bean bags. But how we zhuzh up a place is we'll add a really nice lamp and many fake plants. And this is a great way and quite a cost-effective way to make an Airbnb have a sense of identity and look pretty and aesthetic. It photographs really well. So in terms of the furnishing, apart from really nice paintings and fake plants, it's actually pretty simple. And it didn't cost a lot to furnish. The whole flat cost about $1,200, and that's because we used quality items that were discounted. So we'll go in the sales and the clearance aisles, and we just shopped from there.
Oh wow. And I noticed you used this narrow area that we saw on our previous visit, and that's now a WC. Was that always your intention?
That was, because there was already a bathroom there when this was a hairdressing salon, and so all of the pipe work was already there. We thought about turning it into a study space, but I thought realistically people that come here for short-term lets, if they wanted to study, they can just do it in the bedroom or in the coffee shop opposite. We thought if we add a toilet there, it'd be more attractive when we rent it out to 4 people. And now as a listing, it's 1.5 bathrooms and 4 beds. And we can charge more for it, much more than we would have been able to if we just turned it into a studio. Some people said turn it into a utility room, but people aren't staying here long enough for you to have a designated utility room. They've got a washing machine here and access to the garden for a dryer, and then also access to dryers outside. And so we just thought the best space is the bathroom.
And I noticed the walls curved here.
Yes.
So I'm guessing this is to do with the shower room. Should we have a look at this?
So if you'll notice, we've done floor to ceiling tiles and we've chosen white. This is intentional because if you've noticed, when you're having small bathrooms, when people are wet or drying themselves off, they'll always flick soap on the walls or toothpaste on the walls, and you find that bathroom walls get stained much quicker than living room walls, and the same goes for kitchens. So we'll put floor to ceiling, and that way our cleaners can come and just wipe it down. We use wipes because it makes the space look bigger, and it looks more expensive and more luxurious. And so you'll always find that if I'm doing a bathroom, there's going to be floor to ceiling tiles, especially if the bathroom's small.
No, I agree with that because what we find in our properties is tenants turn the extractor fan off, and it causes moisture and stuff within the bathroom, and then it ends up damaging walls that are only partially tiled. So.
And I would use larger tiles because sometimes the mold can gather in the grout between the tiles. If you use small tiles, then you can have a lot of mold gathering, but if you use bigger ones, then you're dealing with a much smaller area of space if you ever have to treat mold or damp in a bathroom due to extractor fan issues. So yeah. A lot goes into the tiling work you wouldn't expect. A lot of thought goes into that.
Now, I can see we've retained a door here, and this is for the basement area. I think initially we came down, and I think the idea was you were going to use this as a part of the development. It looks like the plans changed a little bit, so you've retained it, but it's not going to be used as part of the Airbnb.
That's right. It is refurbished, so we've got spotlights, hardwood flooring, but because it doesn't have any windows, and we can only technically sleep somebody in the basement, I think it's for a minimum of a week, because if you'll notice, some hotel rooms don't have windows, but you can still rent them out. When it comes to bedrooms and longer term lets, you have to have a window in place. So while we could utilize it, there's always that risk of we don't have the appropriate fire exits. We can only rent it out to people for like 3-4 days. I just felt better to lock it up. I didn't want to run the risk of somebody staying down there and something happening, or even giving access to the tenants, because more so, even if we're only renting out the top place, I can't realistically stop them from also sleeping downstairs for about 3 weeks if they rented this place out for that long. And so I chose to lock it up, but it was taken into consideration when it came to the evaluation, because it does come with a basement. So
okay, amazing. And that then leads us to obviously the bedroom, which used to be the retail unit initially.
Yes.
So this has actually changed quite a bit from when we were here, because I remember it was literally just a shutter. There was no windows or anything.
That's right.
There was no shop front, to be honest. So yeah, it's come out really well. What was your thoughts with the bedroom when designing it?
So the first and focal point when it came to the bedroom was the noise. I kept telling my builders, we're going to put triple glazing, quadruple glazing, as much as we can, just to block out that noise, because the road outside here leads to Dover and Blackheath Tunnel, so we get a lot of lorries and trucks, and it's quite a popular area, and I was just worried about the noise. Right now, it's actually quite silent, especially if we were filming this outside, it would be really loud, and Ronnie's little mics here wouldn't be enough. I'd have to have a really big one for you to hear me. So we've managed to block out the noise, and I'm really pleased about that. After we blocked out the noise, it was just a case of I want really big windows, if we can, to bring in a lot of natural light. And we just furnished it quite simply, pattern rugs to cover stains, a fake plant to give the impression that there's some je ne sais quoi without overpowering it with decor, and a very modest, small little wardrobe with a mirror on it.
Okay, let's discuss what most people want to know, the numbers. So purchase price was?
96.
And the build cost?
40.
Okay, perfect. And did that stay on budget with what you predicted, or?
To be honest, yeah, it pretty much did, because I bought it for so cheap that I thought I was going to get it for at least 150. So getting it for 96 meant that I could send my team in and I could splurge a little bit on the tiles in the bathroom. So it did, and we just finished a development of a big house, so we had a lot of stuff left over, like floorboards, some of the tiles. I think we sacrificed an ensuite in that property, so then we have an extra toilet and a basin, and that all helps out. So if you guys have materials left over from a development, don't throw those out, because you could always utilize them for your next one, which is what we did.
Sure. And I'm guessing the reason you're also able to keep the cost down is it's an internal configuration. So there's, apart from you changing the shop front to more a residential feel, the rest of it is quite straightforward. The utilities were all already here.
It felt like a cosmetic makeover, to be honest. Where the kitchen is where the hairdressers would wash people's hair, so we had all of the pipes there, and it was much easier to just turn that area into a kitchen. There was even already a sink there, so it made everything a lot easier. When it came to building these partition walls, as you might know, a lot of costs wouldn't really typically go into that. There wasn't much issues with the structural in terms of the roof. We could retain it the way that it was. We already had a door in place, and everything kind of mapped out for us, which was
perfect.
quite amazing.
So 96 purchase, 40k build, and end value?
425.
Wow. Is that what the most profitable
Maybe
deal that
more,
you've done?
to be honest, definitely more profitable. But when we bought the evaluator in, it was only rented out for about a month, so we weren't sure about how much it was going to bring in. So I think it bought in maybe 1,800, but since then we've actually managed to bring in 2,500. So I want to say on a yield, it's probably worth more than 425, but that's what the evaluator told me at the time.
No, perfect. And obviously you've got the surrounding building, so when you do the overall value, valuing the whole thing as one big unit?
I've now integrated this flat in with my HMO, and I've done another evaluation of the entire complex, and I'm excited to see how much that is worth.
Okay, we'll have to come back and value that now.
You could probably, by the time this airs, I'll know the numbers. You can like put it here.
So you've been running this as an Airbnb. Is this the first one that you've done?
No, this is the second. But this is the first one that I've given to a managing agency, and I'm really glad that I did that because a lot goes into Airbnbs. We're dealing with guests, you have to sort out the cleaning. The first time that I tried to do it myself, it was very, very much a full-time job, and it was in a property that was in high demand location, and I just couldn't keep up with the bookings and the cleaning. So I feel a lot better giving it to a managing agency. Also, the money that I was saving realistically trying to manage it myself, I was losing anyways just because I had to block out days from Airbnb where I couldn't get cleaners in, and so I was losing money anyways. Give it to a managing agency and your property will be let at full capacity, as much as it can possibly be let, and they will handle all of the headache. And so that's what we're doing, which is why I don't have the keys to the basement, because they have all of them, but I'm really pleased that I went with them.
Oh, perfect. Now guys, you know the drill. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the bell icon, subscribe, leave a comment. We're going to be back with the Elevate series. Miriam's going to be joining us 20th of March in Gotham Hotel, Manchester, where we'll have Miriam, Hardeep Tour, George Ball, all to have 3 award-winning deals that have made over £1 million combined. You don't want to miss this. The details are in the description. We hope to see you there.